Right now, we are staying on top of the devastating wildfires that continue to rip through the Panhandle for 4 days now. Just take a look at that destruction.
Some scary images coming out of that area. And that brings us to CNN's Gloria Pazmino, who joins us live from the Amarillo area, where the Smokehouse Creek fire has scorched more than 850,000 acres of land. And Gloria, have crews told you yet why they are struggling to contain these fires?
Yeah, Kimberly, Stephanie, that is certainly one major issue here in the area. You know, this is a zone where a lot of the firefighting resources are volunteer. You have volunteer fire departments, so you have relatively small groups of emergency responders that are trying to put out the flames. And as you know, this fire has just moved so quickly. At one point, it was traveling the length of a football field every minute. So that really just gives you a sense of just how fast it was moving, and that really makes the firefighting difficult. The governor has deployed additional resources, I should say, into the area. But of course, they have a major challenge ahead of them. The other factor here is, of course, the conditions, the wind. Even now, you can really feel it pick up here in the area, and conditions are going to continue to worsen. The fire risk continues to stretch into next week, so that's going to make it really difficult for those firefighters who are out there trying to contain. Containment is still a very in the low percentages, especially in the Smokehouse Creek fire, which is the biggest one right now.
And Gloria, we've also learned that there's been one death so far and so many other people have lost their homes. What are officials doing right now to prevent any more deaths?
Yeah, you know, one death is too many, right? But thankfully, so far, this fire has not caused major, massive fatalities across the area. So that is perhaps one silver lining that we can find in all of this. Officials have told certain localities to both shelter in place, and some places have been told to evacuate. People, of course, watching very closely as the fire develops, because, as I said, it moves so quickly that you might not have enough time to get out when you see that that fire is coming. In fact, that is some of what we have heard from people here in the area, that they saw the fire was coming. They rushed to help their neighbors. By the time they got back to try to get their own belongings out, the fire was already burning and homes were starting to burn to the ground. So it's extremely dangerous when it starts to move that fast. So people are being warned, of course, you know, keep your attention on your local sources, your local news, your local agencies, to try and keep track of how things are developing. But of course, everyone here still watching very closely and hoping that it can get contained soon.
And Gloria, a huge majority of the state's cattle are on the Panhandle ranches. And what are crews doing right now to protect the livestock from these fires?
Yeah, you know, Kimberly, it's so sad, Stephanie. We have seen some of those videos where you can see cattle just fleeing across the fields and the highways here. And as you said, that is a major industry here in the area, in the Panhandle area of Texas. 86% of the cattle industry is in this area. And so far, thousands of cattle have been killed. So we're talking about an industry that is going to be deeply affected. We have heard from ranchers and from farmers who are losing livestock, and they're also losing their land, right? We have these massive fields, massive farms that are burning, and that is, of course, a loss of property, a loss of industry, and that's going to impact people's livelihoods.
So sad and so devastating to see those pictures as you were doing your report. Gloria Pazmino, live near Amarillo this morning for us. Thank you. And we're continuing to stay on top of the weather in the Texas Panhandle and here in Houston. Download the KHOU 11 app and be sure to turn on push notifications for any weather alerts.